There still exist locations in this world that continue to baffle modern individuals. Ancient edifices of immense scale, enigmatic artifacts, and entire civilizations that once thrived in brilliance only to disappear without leaving behind a single trace. These are not simply myths or children's stories. They are genuine enigmas recorded by both archaeologists and historians. From massive stone blocks that pose challenges even for contemporary machinery, to ancient cities now submerged beneath ocean waters. Today, we embark on a journey into the unsolved riddles of the ancient world, where sometimes history itself defies all established norms. So, buckle up as we plunge into today's mystery. But first, ensure incredible luck by liking and subscribing before this video concludes. Tomb of Qin Shi Huang. Beneath the verdant hills of China's Shanxi province, there exists a location where both history and myth remain at their deepest points of mystery. This is the burial site of Qin Shi Huang, the very first emperor who succeeded in unifying all of China. For over 2 millennia, this tomb has remained wholly intact. It is guarded not just by an intimidating army of terracotta warriors, but also by countless legends of hidden wealth, lethal traps, and unrevealed secrets. Although the well-known Terracotta Army has been excavated and stands as one of the greatest archaeological marvels in the world, the tomb's central chamber, where the most formidable ruler in Chinese history is believed to lie, remains entirely untouched and unexplored. The tomb site lies near Shen and spans a vast 56 square kilometers. Its construction began when Qin Shi Huang was merely 13 years old and wasn't completed until after his death. According to ancient texts, more than 700,000 laborers were involved in building this mausoleum, a number exceeding that of any other known structure from its era. Around the tomb are numerous burial pits, each containing clay warriors, battle horses, and chariots. Every single statue was crafted with painstaking precision, with bases and armor so unique that they appeared to depict real, once living individuals. The historian Sima Qian once portrayed the tomb as a grand subterranean palace, a miniature version of the emperor's whole empire. Ancient chronicles mention that flowing mercury rivers inside the tomb symbolized China's great rivers, intended to run forever through the chamber. The tomb's ceiling was decorated with pearls to mimic a starlit sky, while riches, palaces, and even officials were interred within to continue their service to the emperor in the next life. Automated defense mechanisms, such as crossbows, were reportedly installed to activate upon intrusion. To guard the tomb's secrets from anyone daring enough to intrude, legends tell of traps that would launch arrows at invaders. It's also said that many of the artisans involved in building the tomb were buried alive afterward, ensuring that no one could ever disclose its true entrance. In modern times, surveys employing cutting-edge technology have verified the presence of a mysterious structure beneath the towering mound, and tests have revealed that the surrounding soil contains abnormally high levels of mercury, perfectly aligning with Sima Qian's ancient accounts. Still, no archaeologist has dared to excavate further. The primary reason? Experts believe that any attempt to open the tomb today could cause irreversible damage to whatever lies within. When the Terracotta Army was first uncovered, the vivid paint adorning the statues faded in mere minutes once exposed to the air. On top of that, the mercury present in the soil poses a serious risk not only to human health, but also to the environment, potentially resulting in a large-scale chemical disaster if mishandled. In addition, current preservation technology is not yet equipped to manage delicate artifacts such as silk, ancient scrolls, or other critical materials that may reside inside. Beyond the scientific and technical challenges, profound spiritual and cultural beliefs also influence the decision to leave the tomb untouched. In Chinese tradition, imperial tombs are regarded as sacred. To disturb them would be considered deeply disrespectful to one's ancestors and an affront to national history. The tomb of Qin Shi Huang holds even greater weight, as the emperor represents not just a ruler, but a symbol of unity and unmatched authority. As a result, caution is exercised not only by everyday citizens, but also by the government, which remains highly guarded about releasing survey data. Many believe the tomb may contain truths the world simply isn't prepared to confront. Some daring theories go as far as suggesting that inside could lie ancient wisdom well beyond our current comprehension, or possibly even evidence of a long-lost civilization with advanced technologies. Today, millions of people travel each year to witness the awe-inspiring Terracotta Army. Yet the central burial mound, believed to contain the emperor's actual resting place, remains completely untouched, a silent yet powerful echo of a time shrouded in mystery and authority. The lost tomb of Genghis Khan. Beneath Mongolia's endless skies and sweeping steppes lies a mystery that has persisted for more than 800 years, one that remains entirely unsolved. This is the lost tomb of Genghis Khan, the warrior who established the largest contiguous empire the world has ever known. Despite his fame as one of history's most powerful and feared conquerors, no evidence has ever been found of his final resting place. How is it possible that the burial site of such a legendary figure could vanish without a single trace? And what might it mean? Could his tomb truly contain the legendary riches collected from all corners of the Mongol Empire? Somewhere hidden among the rugged mountains and endless grasslands of northern Mongolia, the final resting place of Genghis Khan remains out of reach not only to archaeologists, but also to explorers and treasure seekers. Though he died in 1227, the exact site of his burial continues to elude discovery to this day. Unlike other famous tombs, such as the Terracotta Army of Qin Shi Huang or Egypt's pyramids, Genghis Khan's burial leaves not even the faintest surface trace. As the story goes, he personally wished to be buried in complete secrecy, leaving no clues behind for posterity. Even the secret history of the Mongols, the oldest recorded account of Mongolian history, only mentions the year he died, offering no detail about his burial site. Marco Polo, who lived during the reign of Genghis Khan's grandson, even recorded that the Mongols themselves were unaware of the tomb's location. According to folklore, when Genghis Khan died during a military expedition in northern China, his remains were transported back to Mongolia. To ensure the route remained secret, those escorting the body allegedly killed every person they encountered along the way. Some versions of the tale go even further. 2,000 mourners present at the funeral were supposedly executed afterward, and the very people who carried out those killings were themselves eliminated, ensuring that no soul remained who knew the location. One account even claims that 1,000 horses were sent galloping over the burial site to wipe away any trace of it. Other legends suggest rivers were redirected to flood the tomb, or that an entire forest was planted above it to conceal it forever. One particularly poignant story tells of a young camel buried alongside the emperor. For years after, the mother camel would return to mourn at the site, providing later generations of Genghis Khan's family a way to find his grave. Yet despite all these stories, no written record has ever uncovered the exact location. Over the years, countless hypotheses have emerged concerning Genghis Khan's tomb. The prevailing belief among researchers is that it lies near Burkhan-Kaldan, the sacred mountain where he was born and where he once offered prayers before uniting the Mongol tribes. Some archaeologists have turned to drones and advanced imaging tools to scan for unusual land patterns. But every effort to dig or explore has met resistance from local communities. These residents consider the area sacred and steadfastly refuse to allow any form of disturbance. Even modern initiatives using satellite data and crowdsourcing, sometimes involving thousands of participants, have tried to uncover clues. Thousands of volunteers have analyzed data, yet the results remain nothing more than unresolved theories. The mystery surrounding Genghis Khan's tomb goes far beyond its mere location. It is widely believed that, if ever discovered, the site could contain vast treasures and priceless artifacts gathered from across his empire, which stretched from China to Persia. Some stories speak of guardian spirits, deadly curses, and bizarre accidents that have plagued expeditions in search of the tomb. However, for the Mongolian people, what matters most is the respect owed to their national hero. Genghis Khan was more than just a conqueror. He was the architect of religious freedom, a postal system, and even paper currency. The Mongols believed that his wishes must be honored, and any attempt to disturb his final resting place would be viewed as a profound insult to their ancestors. Despite the advances of modern technology, the Qin region remains a remote, nearly inaccessible wilderness. The tomb of Genghis Khan remains forever beyond humanity's reach. Should this age-old mystery ever be solved, the discovery could rival the unearthing of the Terracotta Army or the rediscovery of ancient scrolls lost to history. Yet perhaps his tomb will forever remain a part of legend, guarded by the sweeping steppe, the quiet rivers, and the shadows of galloping horses, racing ceaselessly through time. The Giant of Castel Nalles. In the winter of 1890, in a small village called Castel Nalles, the anthropologist Georges Vacher de Lauer unearthed 3 enormous bone fragments from a burial mound dating back to the Bronze Age. These fragments, it was determined, belonged to a human who stood over 11 feet tall, a height that far exceeds any conventional standard for our species. Could this truly be evidence of a race of giants that once walked the earth? Or was it simply the result of an unusual and improbable anomaly? When Georges Vacher de Lauer began his archaeological work in Castel Nalles, he certainly never expected to encounter such extraordinary remains. He uncovered 3 remarkable bones: a section of femur, part of a tibia, and a piece believed to be from an arm bone. Measurements published in the journal Law Nature in 1890 revealed that these bones were twice the size of modern human bones. The femur measured 14 centimeters across, with a circumference of 16 centimeters. The tibia was 26 centimeters in length, and the arm fragment was unusually large. Based on these measurements, Lauer estimated that the individual from whom these bones came must have stood about 3.5 meters tall and weighed several hundred kilograms. He went as far as to assert that these bones were unquestionably human, despite their extraordinary size. The fragments were then sent to the University of Montpellier for expert analysis, and leading figures in zoology, paleontology, and anatomy all agreed that the bones belonged to a very tall race. However, they also considered the possibility that the size could be attributed to pathological growth. A few years later, new reports emerged suggesting that skulls and large bone fragments were discovered near Megaliths, believed to have belonged to people standing between 10 and 15 feet tall. These remains were sent to the French Academy of Sciences, but shortly after, they disappeared without a trace, leaving modern science unable to follow their path. The mystery surrounding the castle deepened as contemporary scholars began to question the true origin of these bones. In 2022, anthropologist Catherine Haken suggested that the remains might simply have come from a giant bear that once roamed prehistoric Europe. In the 19th century, it wasn't uncommon for large animal bones to be mistaken for human remains, especially given the limited anatomical knowledge of the time. However, if these were merely the bones of an animal, why did the experts at Montpellier in that era confirm them as human? And why, to this day, has no modern study ever revisited these fragments? The story of the Giant of Castel Nalles is not merely an archaeological question. It also opens a doorway to the world of myth and legend. From the Cyclopes of ancient Greece to the Nephilim in the Bible, nearly every culture has stories of giants who once roamed the earth. In Castel Nalles, locals still talk about a cave that once housed a giant, and 19th century newspapers even claimed that Lauer's discovery could be the key to unlocking these ancient myths. Some have speculated that these bones could be the remnants of a lost civilization, or perhaps even evidence of extraterrestrial visitors, although no scientific proof has ever been presented. Still, the world of archaeology is not free from hoaxes and exaggerations, often motivated by religious or financial interests. The Cardiff Giant, for instance, was a stone statue buried to deceive the American public in 1869, becoming one of the most famous examples of such a hoax. Yet, the fact that leading experts in Montpellier examined and verified the bones found at Castel Nalles in 1890 makes the hoax theory more difficult to accept in this particular case. Today, the bones that once stunned the world have vanished from all known collections, their current location unknown, and they have never been re-examined with modern technology. The question of the origin of the Giant of Castel Nalles remains unresolved. If such a being truly existed, why has no further evidence ever emerged from a region so rich in archaeological sites? And if it's all just a legend, why does the story continue to endure? still sparking the curiosity of humanity. The Lyu Caves. Hidden deep beneath the lush green rice fields of Lyu County in Xizang Province, China, lies one of the greatest archaeological mysteries modern history has ever encountered. This is the Lyu Caves complex. The story of the Lyu Caves began entirely by chance during the summer of 1992, when a local farmer decided to. The farmer decided to drain the water from a large natural pit near his home to expand it, unaware that beneath the still surface of the water lay a vast and incredible discovery. He uncovered a massive cavern with perfectly flat walls, all covered in intricate, evenly carved patterns that appeared as though they had been created by modern machinery. This finding sparked immense curiosity and excitement throughout the village. The locals, eager to explore further, continued to pump water from nearby pits. Soon, they witnessed the emergence of an entire underground city, comprising more than 20 interconnected caves. What makes Longu such an extraordinary mystery, one that defies every theory, is the sheer perfection of its design and scale. Each cave rises more than 30 meters high, with walls smoothed and sculpted to a flawless finish. The domed ceilings and pillars are arranged with remarkable precision, and every surface is covered in parallel, wave-like carvings that flow in unbroken lines from the ceilings down to the stone floors. Despite the scale of the site, no human remains or artifacts have ever been found, leaving no trace to suggest that any community ever lived or worked here. So, who could have built the Lyu Caves? According to archaeologists, based on the erosion of the stone and other geological evidence, the complex could be more than 2,000 years old, potentially dating back to the Qin or early Han dynasty. And yet, not a single ancient Chinese chronicle makes any mention of the Lyu Caves. How could such a monumental construction vanish completely from the historical record? Many theories have been proposed, but each only raises more questions without offering any conclusive answers. Some suggest the caves might have been ancient granaries, wartime shelters, or even forgotten royal tombs. A few Western researchers speculate that Longu was a sacred site, or perhaps a secret ceremonial center. What is most striking, however, are the nearly identical carved patterns found in every single cave, suggesting that the entire project was executed under unified direction and skill. These carvings demonstrate craftsmanship far beyond what is typically seen in any known ancient civilization. Could this be the legacy of a civilization lost to time, or the result of construction techniques long forgotten? Techniques beyond the imagination of the modern world? Today, the Longu Caves still rest quietly beneath the farmland, standing as a testament to the creative power and enduring mysteries of those who came before us. Until some deeper truth is uncovered, the Longu Caves will remain a silent reminder that human history is filled with unwritten chapters, unanswered questions, and an ongoing quest to understand the true origins and significance of wonders like Longu, mysteries that will continue to captivate explorers for generations to come. The Baalbek Megaliths, hidden within the Bekaa Valley of Lebanon. Once a crossroads for ancient civilizations, the old town of Baalbek has long been at the center of one of the greatest architectural mysteries in human history. Upon arrival, no one would suspect that hidden behind these time-worn ruins lie stone blocks, so enormous that their size and weight defy both imagination and the limits of modern engineering. At the heart of this mystery lie three famous stones known as the Trilithal. Each of these blocks measures nearly 20 meters long, over 4 meters high, and weighs between 750 and 800 tons. To put this into perspective, each stone is as large as a Boeing airliner. These massive blocks are stacked on top of one another, forming the foundation of the legendary Temple of Jupiter, a structure built by the Romans in the 1st century AD. However, the sheer weight and scale of these stones far exceed what the Roman civilization was believed to have been capable of. There is no record of any Roman lifting device or construction tool capable of moving stones of such staggering mass. Not far away, at an ancient quarry, even larger blocks have been discovered. Among them is the Stone of the Pregnant Woman, which weighs nearly 1,000 tons, another block weighing 1,242 tons, and most remarkably, in 2014, archaeologists uncovered a stone weighing an astonishing 1,650 tons. This is regarded as the largest stone block ever known to mankind. Interestingly, these gigantic stones remain in the quarry, posing a profound question about the true intentions and capabilities of the ancients. Numerous theories have been proposed to explain the mystery of Baalbek. Some researchers believe that the Romans used wooden rollers and earthen ramps to transport the stones from the quarry to the construction site. However, this theory quickly shows its flaws. Roman cranes could only lift between 60 and 100 tons at most, while the blocks in Baalbek are many times heavier. Moreover, there is no evidence that the Romans ever used a coordinated system of machines to solve such a monumental challenge. For these reasons, many scholars now believe that the foundation of the Temple of Jupiter actually predates the Romans, possibly belonging to a much older and more advanced civilization. They point to striking similarities between Baalbek and other megalithic structures around the world, such as the Sacsayhuam fortress in Peru and the Egyptian pyramids. Could it be that ancient humanity possessed technologies far beyond what we know today? Despite decades of research, the mystery of the giant stones at Baalbek remains unresolved. There are no ancient records that describe how this feat was accomplished, and the tools used have left no trace. All that remains are the silent stones themselves, standing as a testament to a past that defies understanding. Within the archives of Sweden's National Library lies one of the most haunting and mysterious manuscripts ever created by human hands, the Codex Gigas, also known as the Devil's Bible. Regarded as the largest surviving medieval manuscript, the Codex Gigas astonishes not only with its colossal size, but also with the dark and chilling legends that have surrounded it for nearly 800 years. The manuscript weighs almost 75 kilograms, measuring 92 centimeters in length, 50 centimeters in width, and 22 centimeters in thickness. It is so large that even a grown adult must use both arms to move it. Experts estimate that it would have taken hundreds of sheets of calfskin to produce its massive pages. However, its size is not the only factor that makes the Codex Gigas famous. What truly elevates it to legend are the stories of curses and supernatural powers that have become attached to the book. According to a legend passed down since the 13th century, the manuscript was written by a Benedictine monk in Bohemia, a land that is now part of the Czech Republic. This monk had committed a grave crime and was sentenced to be walled up alive in the monastery, one of the most horrifying punishments of the Middle Ages. Desperate and terrified, he pleaded for his life, promising that if given one night, he could produce a manuscript containing all human knowledge, from the Bible to the sciences, history, medicine, and magic. Knowing that the task was impossible for any mortal, the monk is said to have made a desperate plea to the devil. According to legend, Satan himself appeared and helped the monk finish the manuscript in a single night, in exchange for the monk's soul. In gratitude, the monk is said to have painted a gigantic portrait of the devil in the very center of the book, a demonic image unlike anything seen in any other biblical manuscript on earth. Yet this story is only a legend. In reality, researchers have determined that the Codex Gigas was completed in the early 13th century at the Padles Monastery. What continues to astonish modern scholars is the perfect consistency of handwriting and style across all 620 pages. It appears as though the book was written by a single hand, possibly over many years. Inside the Codex Gigas is not only the entire Latin Bible, but also texts on history, anatomy, magic, astrology, and even catalogs of demons and spells. Most striking of all is the enormous illustration of Satan with glowing eyes, a red tongue, and razor-sharp claws, positioned in the middle of the manuscript. This image has convinced many. It is believed that the book is cursed, and that whoever possesses it is destined to face misfortune or catastrophe. Over the centuries, the Devil's Bible has witnessed countless upheavals. It was once seized by Swedish forces as a prize during the 30 Years' War and taken to Stockholm in 1648, where it remains preserved to this day. There are stories that wherever the manuscript appears, disaster follows. Disease, war, or even the fall of dynasties. Today, The Codex Gigas continues to attract thousands of scholars, theologians, and mystery seekers from around the globe. Until the Codex Gigas is fully deciphered, it will remain a symbol of obsession, curiosity, and the unending quest to uncover secrets that humanity has yet to comprehend. GöbekliTepe, buried beneath the parched soil and stony hills of the Anatolian Plateau in Turkey. GöbekliTepe remained silent and forgotten by history until the end of the 20th century in 1994. When German archaeologist Klaus Schmidt struck the earth with his first shovel, no one could have predicted that he was about to shake the very foundations of what we knew about human history. What gradually emerged at GöbekliTepe left the world in awe. Deep underground were massive circles of limestone pillars, each one rising as high as 6 meters and weighing dozens of tons. Even more astonishing is the site's age. More than 11,000 years old, predating the invention of the wheel, the discovery of agriculture, and the use of metal. It is a relic older than both the Egyptian pyramids and Stonehenge. These T-shaped pillars are not only monumental in size, but are also intricately carved with depictions of animals, lions, wild cattle, foxes, snakes, as well as countless abstract symbols. Every carving seems to tell a silent story, a testament to the worldview, beliefs, and imagination of prehistoric communities. The sheer sophistication of the work has left researchers questioning who conceived, designed, and built such a colossal marvel. The greatest paradox is that GöbekliTepe is believed to have been constructed by hunter-gatherer societies, long thought to be scattered and incapable of organizing such a monumental project. This very discovery has forced scientists to rethink the connection between religion, belief, and the rise of complex societies. Even stranger is the fact that around 800 BC, the ancient builders deliberately buried the temple, as if determined to seal its secrets away forever. That mysterious decision is what allowed the site to remain almost perfectly preserved for thousands of years. Today, as GöbekliTepe's ancient stones are brought into the light for the first time in millennia, they do more than. They challenge and reshape our understanding of the past, raising a multitude of questions that remain unanswered. Could it be that human history is far more profound and intricate than we ever thought? And how many more secrets lie dormant beneath the earth, just waiting to be uncovered? Outer, if you found these mysteries captivating, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and enable notifications so you won't miss any of our future adventures. We'll see you in the next video.